Public radio is often associated with big city liberalism, which makes it a constant target for defunding by Republicans, despite the fact that all public broadcasting put together represents only 0.01% of the federal budget. President Trump wants to relieve taxpayers of that burden, eliminating all funding for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. But he'll be cutting off the people who actually rely on public radio: remote, rural, largely Republican voters.
Good morning. You are listening to KFSK Petersburg, a member of the Coast Alaska Regional Public Radio Organization.
In Petersburg, Alaska, if you want to know what's happening today, you have one option: KFSK, the town's public radio station.
It's 4 minutes past 6 o'clock.
Julie Hersey is the morning host. Her day starts with weather. A lot of weather.
Stevens Passage today, southeast winds 15 knots and seas 4 feet. Tonight, south 20, seas 4 feet.
Listening to KFSK is listening to all the quirks of Petersburg, broadcast live all day long.
You know what time it is?
There's Tradio, the on-air version of Craigslist.
Line 3, you're on Tradio.
I have a really nice gun cabinet.
Morning, Hoopy.
Hoopy, who's supposed to report on driving conditions, but regularly veers wildly off course.
I have a miniature snoodle, and she'll eat everything and anything. And I've always wondered what happens if she ends up grabbing a Tylenol that's been dropped on the floor, or, you know, something.
And volunteer DJs playing music.
Heat wave and nowhere to run. And now back to the music.
You were just nearing the end of your licensing process. Where are you with that now?
Petersburg is blue-collar, red-voting America. And the news department of KFSK, 2 full-time reporters, tells that story. KFSK is also the CNBC of catching fish.
Seiners in Sitka Sound had their first opening yesterday afternoon and caught about 3,500 tons of herring. Fish are caught for their eggs, or roe, which are sold in Asia.
Petersburg, population 3,149, is on Mitkoff Island in southeast Alaska. It was founded in the 1900s by Norwegian fishermen for one reason: ice. The island is close to a glacier, so it was a handy spot for processing fish in the days before refrigeration. Fish came out of the water, ice came out of the water, fish met ice, everyone got paid. A century later, things aren't that different. Most everyone still makes a living because of fish packed in ice. KFSK is part of that economy. Julie doesn't do those long weather breaks because she likes weather news.
But we try to explain that we have a lot of mariners, a lot of fishermen in this town, and people on the water.
Yeah.
And people at remote cabins who want to know, can I come up the Narrows? Is it blowing really hard? And for a lot of places that don't have cell service or intermittent, you can't get it on your iPhone.
Sig Mathieson is captain of the Marathon. He's been fishing Alaskan waters since before Alaska was a state.
So even with all this new technology, public radio, that you still need it?
We have a lot of technology aboard the boat. We've got the AIS system so that other boats can see you and pinpoint where you're at, GPS and all of the radar, radio stuff. It does nothing to inform you about what's going on with the fisheries.
This is where Petersburg goes off script. The vast majority of people here are white and work blue-collar jobs. So not surprisingly, last November, President Trump won by 243 votes. And here, that counts as a landslide. And Republicans hate public radio, right? Not in Petersburg. KFSK is among the top 10 public radio stations when it comes to fundraising per capita. In Petersburg, being a Trump booster and a public radio booster isn't strange at all. The station manager at KFSK is Tom Abbott. He's heard Republicans in Washington threaten to cut off public radio funding for years.
You know, what they really think about you is that this is a building full of socialists.
Yes, there we go. Let's get to the meat of it.
That's what they think. That's why they want to cut your money.
Right, right. This is a red town in a red state. We get tremendous amount of support from people that, you know, probably have that, public broadcasting, but not my station. But they'll say it in general. That's what I think is sort of the crux of it.
KFSK gets around $124,000 a year from the CPB, around a third of its operating budget. If that's cut, the station just can't afford local content.
It would be a dramatic change for us.
Would it kill KFSK?
I think as we know it.
Five Finger Lighthouse, Southeast winds at 6.